Hey, touring car fans, it's Trevor here from P1Magazine.ca and Canadian Touring Car Championship. I'm here with the driver of the number 47 Mini, Alain Lauziere from Team Octane. Hey, Alain, how are you?
I'm very well. How about you, Trevor?
I'm doing all right. It's kind of early today. It's Saturday morning. We're at CTMP in support of the Silverado 250. So yesterday we had practice and qualifying.
Yes.
And how did you feel about yesterday's performance?
The track was very fast, actually, yesterday. We had a little boo-boo in qualifying the last couple of laps, so had a little slight encounter with the wall, but we're fixing the car right now. Shouldn't be too bad, and we'll be ready to race again today. So, no, we're in good shape. My teammate Michel is P1, and I believe I'm P2, so good lap times, and we're going to have a good car and should have good performance also. Expect good things.
That's great. I mean, so right now you're leading the Touring Car Championship. I believe Michelle's in second or third right now.
Second, just a few points over Whitmer.
So when you're out on the track today and tomorrow in our races, do you guys work together as teammates to try to protect each other's place in the championship and keep Mr. Whitmer away?
It's always a touchy subject. As a driver, you're always a strong individual where you want to perform for yourself and first. But obviously, we won't hurt each other. I can't say we'll truly, if we have to go after someone and we have to team up together to work, we'll do it. But there's no team orders or anything where, whoever's in first, whoever's in second or third is third, and that's how it works. But, yeah, well, obviously we'll be polite to each other, so that's pretty well how it works.
Yeah, take a lesson, Formula One. No team orders in Canadian Touring Car. So we were here back in May for the Victoria Day, and now we're back in late August. Do you set up the car differently for each time of year? Because to take into account the weather, which is pretty crazy at this track as it is, then it was a lot cooler from what I remember, and this weekend is quite a bit hotter. So is there a different setup for your car?
Surprisingly, actually, the last weekend we were here was very, very humid, and for us, actually, there was performance issues because our ECU is all stuck, and it reacts how it wants to react, and when it feels it just becomes too hot, too humid, etc. It doesn't control that. It just shuts the power down. So when we were here last, we had a little power issues. So we were down quite a bit on power and top speed. And for some reason, this weekend seems to be a little bit cooler, more advantageous for us, and we're performing at the front. So it's good for us. So yeah, there's things we manage, things we don't. But no, setup-wise, the car is pretty well set up the same way as it was last time. The setup works, and we fine-tuned based on the track this weekend. But it's very minor adjustments after that. So.
And for our race fans who have heard so much about this racetrack, give them a little description of the track itself, like some of the more intimidating corners or some of the straightaways and how you kind of drive the track.
Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsport, which used to be called Mosport, is actually, I'll call it my home track because I used to live in Ontario when I started driving race cars, so I'm fairly familiar. I've seen the evolution of the track, the changes, etc. It's a very, very fast racetrack. Could be very intimidating also the first few times you were here. It can bite you fairly fast. My first lap here at Mosport, I'm not ashamed to say that it was like in pouring weather, and for corner 5 I looped the car my first lap I was ever here, so it can be intimidating, but once you start mastering where you need to be, you start learning the track, it's actually very rewarding because the succession of corners can be very fast, and that's tough to find a track that's so fast, that has rhythm, and you can have so much fun. So it's one of my favorites, and like a lot of drivers in across the world, but in North America, I think it's one of the fastest track that deserves respect, but you can have a lot of fun in this track. So.
Well, do you find this track is more or less forgiving than, say, an iCar or a Trois-Rivières?
Oh, wow. Trois-Rivières is a little different because of the wall, so I can't say that it's a very forgiving track. But Mosport is not forgiving. It's not because of the wall, it's because of the speed. When the car goes, if you're at the wrong place, it's too bad. You're either in the wall or somewhere where you don't want to be. But they've made a lot of improvements on the track over the years. So, like corner 2 is one of the most difficult corner, but there's lots of room now if you go off. So it's not as bad as it used to be, but you have to treat it with respect. So.
Cool. Well, I'm going to wish you good luck for this weekend, and hope you do very well in your 2 races.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thanks, P1.